Are there any foundational steps that people should consider taking when starting to integrate with Git?
Cleanup. No sense having a huge Git repository where 60-70% of the repository is obsolete code. So it really plays into that as well. If I was doing it right, the very first thing I would do is understanding what the application still is using on a daily basis. What does that code really do every day? And take the things that have been used in the last 2 years. And those are the only things I focus on. Everything else, I start looking at cleaning it out of the system. And then as soon as I can clean that out of the system, then I can really analyze what my application does. And then from there, I can start my modernization journey. Because one of the major problems with Git, on the I, all of our source repositories are humongous. They're huge because our applications were huge. Git was not designed for that. It was designed for small repositories, many small repositories. And so the code base that they were expecting is much smaller. So when they say, I want a branch, it's no big deal because they're only getting a few things. You do a branch on a major IBM I application, and it takes forever to build the branch. And that's exactly what Michael has done inside our Git interface, has built a way to bring that down in chunks so that you're not trying to wait for the entire thing to come down. I can bring it down with multiple threads of data coming at the same time. So that multi-threaded process means that I get my branch much quicker and accurately to begin my changes. My thought is, if I was in the perfect world, okay, I would do the cleanup first. The next thing I would do is look at the database and see what I can do to my database to make my database cleaner and more efficient. And the better database design you have, the better your new environment is going to look like. And that's one of the things AI can help them to analyze. When they know what files are still being used and what files are obsolete, they're more likely to have cleaned out those obsoleted files than just leaving them there with data in them. But just in case, those can also be a cleanup area. They may have left them in place in the beginning, just in case they had to do a fallback, or for tax purposes, they needed to keep the data for an extended period of time, that type of thing, for legal reasons. So sometimes they hold on to that data for a long period of time, but being able to identify that data and keeping that out of your modernization effort can be really time-saving overall. The more they know about that type of information up front, the better their cleanup efforts are going to be, and the easier it'll be to take that next step, which is modernizing the database. Modernizing the database can be done in sections. Everybody wants to go to SQL, and that's pretty much an end goal for most IBM I shops these days, but it's not an easy task. And using a tool like MD makes it a much more realistic task. It makes it very easy for them to use the surrogate method, move quickly to new database design, know what objects are going to be affected, allow the recompiles to happen en masse. All of those things are what MD's been designed to do. Michael did a great job as far back as 10 or 12 years ago. When we first got started, we worked with Timbo, which was a group out of South Africa that do database modernization. And they gave us a lot of great ideas on what to do to make it easy for people to make that transition. Because one of the things that stumps people is, I don't have the downtime to convert my database to a SQL table. Well, with MD Rapid, yes, you do. And that's a very big proponent for modernization efforts, is to have the kind of tools that will allow you to make those changes without impacting your production environment in the interim. They don't have to wait until they pick a path to do their cleanup. That cleanup effort can happen simultaneously with picking the path forward, because it's not dependent, but it can still be considered part of your modernization effort. Spring cleaning is a great way to do it. So now we can use that spring cleaning, which lots of people have tried to do for years, and everybody and their managers always freak out. Well, what if we break something? What if we break something? Let's just leave it alone. It's working. You can't do that and modernize.
you just mentioned, what if we break something? And that ties directly right back to the automatic rollbacks and having safety nets in place so that if you do break something, you can go back and you can fix it without losing all of your work.